beginning, from the first moment, I may almost say, of my acquaintance with you, your manners impressing me of your arrogance, your conceit and your selfish disdain of the feelings of others, were such as to form the groundwork of disapprobation on which succeeding events have built so immovable a dislike. I had not known you a month before I felt you were the last man in the world whom I could ever be perceived on to marry.
I hope you saw her petticoat, 6 inches deep in mud, I'm certain of it, and the gown which had been let down to hide it, not doing its office.
You observed it, Mr. Darcy, I am sure, and I am inclined to think that you would not wish to see your sister making such an exhibition.
Certainly not.
If you, my dear father, will not take the trouble of teaching her that her present pursuits are not to be in the interest of her life, then she will be beyond the reach of amendment. And to flirt in the worst degree of flirtation, without any attraction beyond youth or tolerable person, and the ignorance and emptiness of her mind, wholly unable to ward off any of that universal contempt, which her rage for admiration will excite.
No one can really easily esteem accomplished who does not greatly surpass what is usually met with. A woman must have a thorough knowledge of music, singing, drawing, dancing, and the modern languages to deserve the word, and besides all this, she must possess a certain something in her air and manner of walking, and tone of her voice, her address and expressions, or her word will be but half deserved.
All this she must possess, and to all this she must yet add something more substantial in the improvement of her mind by extensive reading.
Oh, really? Ladies?
Gentlemen?
Ladies?
Gentlemen?
Ladies?
Gentlemen?
Ladies?
Gentlemen?
Ladies?
Gentlemen?
Pardon me for interrupting you, madame, but if she is really headstrong and foolish, I know not whether she would altogether be a very desirable wife to a man in my situation, who naturally looks for happiness in a marriage state. If, therefore, she actually persists in rejecting my suit, perhaps it were better not to force her into accepting me, because if liable to such defects of temper, she could not contribute much to my felicity.
Has your governess left you? No governess? How was that possible? 5 girls being raised in a home without a governess? I've never heard of such a thing. Your mother must have been quite the restriction on your education. Who taught you? Who attended to you? Oh, you 5 must have been quite neglected. But a governess would have prevented that. And had I known your mother, I would have advised most strenuously for her to engage one. I always say education is never done well without strict and regular instruction, and only a governess can give it. But if that is the case, you simply must write to your mother to beg to stay a little longer. Mrs. Collins will love your company, I'm sure of it.
I am much obliged to your ladyship for your invitation, but it is not in my power to accept it. I must be in town next Saturday.
It's highly improper. You must contrive to send somebody. I have the greatest dislike in the world for something like that. Young women must always be attended to according to their situation in life.
You are too sensible a girl, Lizzie, to fall in love merely because you are wanted, against it, and therefore I am not afraid of speaking openly. Seriously, I would have you be on your guard. Do not involve yourself or endeavor to involve him in an affection which the want of fortune would make so very imprudent. I have nothing to say to him. He is most interesting young man, and if he had the fortune to ought to have, I think you could not do better. But as it is, you must not let your fancy run away with you. You have sense, and we all expect you to use it. Your father would depend on your resolution and good conduct, I am sure. You must not disappoint your father.
Come, Darcy, I must have you dance. I hate to see you standing about by yourself in this stupid manner. You had much better dance.
I certainly shall not. You know how I detest it, unless I'm particularly acquainted with my partner. At such an assembly as this, it would be insupportable. Your sisters are engaged, and there is not another woman in the room who would not be a punishment to be with.
I would not be so fastidious as you are for a kingdom. Upon my honor, I never met with so many pleasant girls in my life as I have this evening, and there are several of them that seem uncommonly pretty.
You are dancing with the only handsome girl in the room.
Oh, she is the most beautiful creature I ever beheld. But there is one of her sisters sitting down just behind you, who is very pretty and, dare I say, very agreeable.
Dang it.
Cassie!
Are any of your sisters out, Miss Bennet?
Yes, ma'am, all.
All? What, all 5 out at once? Very odd. And you're only the second. All the younger ones out before the elders are married? Your sisters must be very young.